So guys, one of the issues I've found using our phones for all the stuff we use it for is like right now, I would like to tell you all the stuff that's going on with the car via the computer, okay? I've got a reader in my phone that hooks to a Bluetooth reader in the OSB2 port, which is just below the dash. And it tells you everything about the car, engine temp, speed, RPMs, everything. It tells you more than you probably want to know. The things I want to know, one thing. Whoa, little squirrel. Well, the brakes work good. The only thing I really want to know,
turn left on Old Grantham Road,
is
then
fuel
take
mileage.
the first right.
Fuel mileage is my important question. Why? Well, the fuel mileage tells you a lot. It tells you the health of your air filter. It tells you the health of your oil. It tells you the health of your coil pack, like we just had fail, a week and a half ago. Yeah. It has
turn left on Old Grantham Road, then take the first right.
What I would call an all-in-one coil pack. So for you lucked out. That meant I replaced all 4 coils at the same time.
Turn right on James Hinson Road.
Which, in a car, means you're good for another 100,000 miles normally. It dropped cylinder 3. We were having a fuel issue at the same time. I didn't want to go throwing parts into a fuel issue. So once we got that all straightened out...
In 1 mile, turn left on Stevens Mill Road.
Then it dropped cylinder 3 and cylinder 4. It is fun driving a 4-cylinder on 2 cylinders. I bet you can't wait till you see that video. Yeah, a lot of fun driving, a 4-cylinder on 2. So that's half the power, plus less than half the power because of the drag of the 2 cylinders that aren't actually working. They're just getting drugged. So I'm going to guess somewhere around the quarter of the horsepower by when all's done and said. And I think this tops out at like 110 horsepower to start with. So on those 2 cylinders, with 1 cylinder down,
mile, turn left on Stevens Mill Road.
It really kind of just lopes like a big block. With 2 cylinders down, oh yeah, no, it sounds like it's coughing its last breath, guys, last breath. But we made it. We left one auto parts store that did not have the
turn
part.
Left on Stevens Mill Road.
Made it a half a mile to the other store. So all in all, this baby did a great job. All we ask of a machine is to take care of us, get us where we're going, and if we take care of the machine takes care of us. If I had caught it right away, not having poured bad fuel into the car,
turn right on Ferry Bridge Road.
I would have replaced the coil pack and I wouldn't have ended up dropping 2 cylinders. So there is something to be said though about just being able to depend on your machine to get you where you need to go. Will it always? The reality is no. Any machine, new, old, whatever, is gonna break down eventually if you don't do your regular maintenance, okay? You see these people and you're like, well, how did you put that many miles on that vehicle? And they're all going to tell you the same thing, regular maintenance. Regular maintenance. When it's time for an oil change, do your oil change and put the best in you can. And then if you want to do better than average, better than required maintenance, better than required, I kind of like that saying, better than required maintenance. Well, that requires you to put synthetic in that's good for 7,000 miles and blow the extra money and change it at 5. When I bought my first new vehicle as an adult, a 2007
turn right on Ferry Bridge Road.
In 2007, I think I bought it in 2007. Yeah, so 2007 X-Runner I purchased in 2007. I put 300,000 miles on that vehicle. I did all my regular maintenance, surpassing regular maintenance, which is your oil changes. Now, changed my oil the second day of ownership. I was commercially driving at the time, Radioactive Medicine up and down the east coast of Florida and over to the west coast.
Turn right on Ferry Bridge Road.
So up and down the east and west coast of Florida. I put a lot of miles on that vehicle. Ran perfect when I sold it. The guy that bought it, he was a friend of a friend. He's still driving it. Actually, no, he sold it. And he kicked himself in the butt for selling it.
Turn left on
He's
Lassiter
like,
Road.
I never should have sold it. It was the best vehicle ever. And it was. Look, if you need a pickup truck and you don't like pickup trucks, find yourself a Toyota X-Runner. Okay? It's like a Tacoma. It's a lowered stance. It's built for the track, so it's a blast to drive. Downside. There's always a downside, right? It's a sports vehicle. You have to be able to drive a 6-speed manual transmission. I shouldn't even say 6-speed. You have to be able to drive a manual transmission. This Baja is an automatic. I did that on purpose. I'm 50. I'm done with doing clutches and all that sort of stuff. It's hard on my ankle to operate the clutch constantly, especially like rush hour traffic, accidents on the freeway, anything in this extended period of time where you're holding that clutch down. And manuals are not easy to trailer with. You are going to damage generally whatever the back of your truck looks like. It's going to have some scratches and dings if you've got a manual. With an automatic, you have a lot more control when you're trailering. Backing up to hook up, unhooking and pulling up inclines. It's a game changer.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left on Lassiter Road.
That tells you to get a manual transmission for towing is only thinking one thing: longevity of the transmission. That's exactly what they're thinking. Longevity of the transmission. The manual is going to do better. I totally agree with it. However, even though you may have to replace a automatic transmission here and there, you can add a transcooler, which is going to help extend the life of the transmission by keeping it cooler. If you're going to tow a lot, you can do a deep fan with, heavier or deeper cooling fins. There is all sorts of stuff you can do to cool it down, and that's what kills your transmission is heat. You want to keep it as cool as possible. But I would definitely do an automatic if I was towing nowadays.
Turn left on Old Smithfield Road.
Automatic transmissions are built better. They last longer, but being able to back up in 1/4-inch increments is a game changer. You just don't have with a manual. Even pulling a boat out at a boat ramp, it's a steep incline, so you've got to hold the clutch in, step on the gas, start letting the brake off all at the same time without stalling it or spinning the tires. And it can be done all day long, but it's just an extra annoyance you don't need as a tower. So this tow's great. Small trailers, small enclosed trailers. I towed a U-Haul with it, 4x8, very short, very low wind drag. Okay, and then I towed a really big boat. I mean, when you see that video, that's a huge bass boat. It's massive, 25 or something crazy. It's big. It towed both fine. If you had a small boat, a jet boat, jet skis,
3/4 of a mile. Turn
yard
left on
trailer,
Old Smithfield Road.
short enclosed trailer. I don't care how long you make it. It needs to be short. It can't be tall, which, you know, is really a bummer because you don't want to really have to crouch over. But short trailers or a V-neck. And now if you get a V-front trailer, I think they call it a V-neck trailer, the whole box will be V'd, and that reduces your drag tremendously as well. The more you can reduce your drag off of a big flat front, the better off you're going to be. The longer your transmission's going to be, the cooler the vehicle's going to run.
Turn left on Old Smithfield Road.
This does not have a transmission temperature gauge, which would be a great thing to have. Even the reader, as far as I know,
turn right on Massey Hole Road.
I don't think there's a sensor built into this vehicle for it. I do have a scan gauge. I haven't looked to see if the scan gauge has a download for the Suburu. I may go ahead and do that. The problem with the scan gauge is I need to take it apart and clean all the contacts. Sometimes you gotta mash the buttons, and it's a mounted unit, so if I put it in here, I'm not taking it back out. You're getting a scan gauge with the vehicle. The thing about the 42 is there's nowhere to plug anything in. And honestly,
turn
if I
right
do,
on Massey Hole Road.
If I do a power plant change on the 42, I've got a brand spanking new mechanical diesel, 264 horsepower, just sitting at a friend's house, just begging to be used for some project. So I may strip it down. It's a marinized.
In 5 miles, turn left on East Edwards Street.
Reset it up for a vehicle and use that in the 42 if I really don't like the 6-cylinder gas. Which I don't know. After having a diesel truck, I may not like the gas, but the gas parts are lighter and smaller, and I'd have plenty of room with this straight 6 diesel, and that's, you know, that's a big plus that I can get in and work on everything easily. It's got a couple of, what were those? Toyotas, not MR2s. I had a friend that had one, not a Probe. Looks a lot like the Probe, though. Phaser? No. I don't know. I think it starts with a P. Prism? No. That's not it either. Nope. 280, no. 260 Nissan 2, it's not a Datsun, no. Are all the Datsun's numbers? There was one car that was numbered that was not. 280 something, I think, I want to say. I don't know. Who's the car guru out there? Got some corn coming up. It's going to be tall soon. Won't be able to see across the fields. That's when you know it's time to go. And to the left, the wheat fields, I keep expecting to see a lion come through the wheat field. I don't know. What do you think the likelihood of that is? Big old lion coming up through there? Beautiful day. Hopefully it continues horses. I love seeing the horses. A little cold out there. I don't know if you saw it. This angle is not as wide, I don't think, as the Apple phone. You can get a wider view. But I do think the image stabilization works really well on this one. I think it's time to soften the suspension again too. Watch this truck. Hold on, talking to them. Wow, I wish it would take me on the other side and bring me in so I don't have to make a left across that road. Ah, sucks. If I do, I might even just go down and make a UE and come back. Go down to a light, make a left. Swing back out of a parking lot, head back the right direction. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go for a minute. You're on the phone that I checked the bank with. I don't know if I have service. Let me see if I even have service out here. Full bars. Full bars. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Bye, guys.